Well, hello and welcome back to the channel. So today I'm going to do something I haven't done in a while. Honestly, I can't remember the last time I did this. I think it was the Ducati Night Shift, the first gen, not the next gen. So it really has been a while, but I'm going to do a Q&A. It's always nice to do. It's always nice to give my thoughts on this. On my Instagram, I put out some stories asking people to send in their questions and what they would like to know about the bike, you know, what it's like to ride. I've had a fair few come through. I'll go through them, share my thoughts, give you my 2 cents on it all. But yeah, let's jump in and start with question 1. It's the riding position. So you're just so tucked in. I appreciate it doesn't have like really far rear pegs or anything like that, but for someone who is used to scramblers where your knees are kind of like at 90 degrees and you're straight back or a bit hunched over maybe, to then go onto a bike like this where you are, I'll just quickly jump on, where you are, like, you know, bum all the way back, legs tucked in, you're bent over like this, you know, you're really getting down. It's designed to be agile, it's designed to be nimble, you want to go around the place, you want to drop it down a gear and just take off. And it's such a slick design. I think the other thing about it is it's just such a beautiful silhouette. Is that the right term? But it just looks amazing in terms of this angle right here. You've got this beautiful chrome tank. You've got this lovely tank strap on it, and then you've just got the clip-ons and the retro dials, the dual dials, which is something you don't see much of. So I just a lot of it ticks the boxes for me. But honestly, it's just this riding position of getting really tucked in, bum back, bent over, knees up high, and just really becoming one with the motorcycle. I take out stock motorcycles, which means there's a lot of stuff on here I would get rid of pretty much straight away. So let's work from the front back. I think most Triumph owners do this. They go for the shorter mud guards. I do like it when they kind of stop there and stop there. This is really nice. This does look smart, but I probably would make it shorter. I love the wire spoke rim. I don't think you need to change those at all. I wouldn't want to go for forged wheels or anything like that. I'd want to stick with the wire spokes. The tyres, I'm so used to riding Pirelli MT60s from my scramblers and stuff that when I move to a tyre like this, it's always a bit nerve-wracking at first. But they've been great. They've been amazing. I've ridden in some horrendous weather over the last couple of weeks, and they've kept me, you know, rubber side down. So I salute them in that sense. I think I'd probably want to have a look around and get an idea of what alternatives there would be. Indicators, big lollipops on the end of sticks, as I always say, they need to be tightened up. I like it when you get the really small ones, powerful LEDs. A lot of people might disagree with me on this, but I don't actually like on Triumphs how it's held on, the headlights held on from either side. And if I were to get it, I'd probably want to black, if I kept these, I'd probably want to black them out. Alternatively, I'd like to find a headlight, because I don't think the headlight's very good. I've been riding at night and it's a bit like, can I see that far in front of me? Do I feel confident with this light? No. So I really probably want to get an aftermarket light as well, but I like the one similar to the R90 where it comes up from the middle, or the actual bit attaching it. On the Ducati, they're actually hidden, the attachment that's tucked inside the forks, so they're not exposed. So I'd want to do something about these. On next, this is all fine, this is great to me. I love the fact there are 2 screens here, the dual dials. It just looks brilliant. I love having a visible tachometer. I think that looks superb, and everything looks great along here. Although these handlebar levers are adjustable, I probably would want to go for some short ones. I always like just to use one finger really when it comes to braking and clutch. There are people like Moto and Custom which would do a nice little facelift to the casings here, the housings here. I see people change this for carbon fibre or sort of a black alternative. I'd probably change the pegs as well. There's a lot already that's happening here. I'm making it into a very different machine. I adore the exhaust. I'm probably going to talk about these later actually. I saw one of the questions was talking about the exhaust, but of course, as nice as they are, I prefer a shorter exhaust. I think I'd want to have it stop around there. I've even seen a Thruxton recently on Instagram where it had a high exhaust, which looked mean as hell. So I'd look into that. Moving towards the rear, I'm happy with the O-lins. Oh, by the way, in my first video I said it had O-lins on the front. Apparently they're not. Apparently they're shower. So sorry about that. But on the rear O-lins, they're all good. I'd probably change the seat. This is a bit bog standard. I'd want to maybe get one with a nice pattern, like a diamond sort of pattern into it. And then the big change is this horrendous pit here, which I just don't understand. Triumph always seem to consider the rear tail lights and everything just an afterthought. Look at how it just protrudes out. The bike should stop there. This would all go. This would all be tail tidy. There's a chap who I follow who's done a beautiful job with LEDs around here, so that'd be a really nice thing to explore as well. But fundamentally, it would look like a very different machine. So a fair bit of change going on. Dread to think what something like that would cost. But honestly, I think you could have a lot of fun making this bike even more sublime, but just keeping this chrome, because this chrome is super special to me. But yeah, I think with something like that, this would be a very cool bike, and we'd be turning even more heads left, right and centre than it already is. But yes, long-winded answer, but there you go. It's a model of bike I know very little about. People have asked me this before when I've done Q&As actually on my Instagram stories, and I've always had to bring in the help of others who have ridden them. I think the Speed Twin's meant to be a very sporty motorcycle as well. Thruxton probably more so, but I've heard very good things about the Speed Twin, but I've never ridden it. The Thruxton here has a 1200, the Bonnie has a 1200, the Bobber has a 1200, you know, the T120. They all share a very similar engine, but it's then how they're tuned. And to be completely honest with you, I don't know how the Speed Twin 1200 has its engine tuned. I don't know if it's putting out more or less horsepower than this bike in front of me. I don't know what the riding position's like. I don't know how much they weigh. There's a lot there I don't know, so I can't really answer. But fingers crossed, who knows, one day I will get out on a Speed Twin and I will be able to have an idea moving forward if I ever get that question again about how to answer it. But yeah, sorry about that. I wish I could be more help. Maybe someone in the comments can do that, and I'll go back to the person. In terms of noise, yes, they make a nice racket. There are times when you roll off the throttle and the bike will pop like crazy. So for stock, they're not bad at all. But yeah, I would want to change them. They go either side of the Olin, so they kind of actually protrude outwards at like a 30-degree angle. They do protrude out, and as I say, I'm not the biggest fan of that. I think where you can actually see the join here, where it slots in, I think that would just be a really cool place to stop. Or have it go along and stop here or something. But I'd probably avoid wanting to go up, and then that exposes the rear swing arm as well. So yes, they're cool. Yes, they do the job. You wouldn't necessarily need to change them if you want to save yourself some cash. But if you've got a spare couple of £100, maybe even £1,000, because exhaust can get very pricey very quickly, have some fun and change it. I'm going to say what I always say. I would go for Zard. A friend of mine, Ray, the Bonnie biker, do go and check him out. He's got a Bonneville Bobber. He's got the gold line, and he's put some Zard slip-ons on there, and my goodness are they noisy. And you can, if you want to, remove the DB killer, which is just incredibly excessive, but they're brutal. And I know about Zard, of course. I have them on my Ducati 62, but I know they do them for this bike, and they look phenomenal and sound phenomenal. I don't know. That's a horrible question, because everyone knows how obsessed I am with the 1100s. I was at first obsessed with the Sport Pro, and then I took out the Tribute. First time I took the Tribute out, I was like, this is cool, I like this bike, but is it really the one I'd go for? Would I still go for the Sport? And then I took the Tribute out a second time, and I completely fell in love with it. I think it's because I did more long distance journeys on it. I really put it through its paces. Honestly, for a daily bike, the Scrambler probably still takes it. And then for wanting to go absolutely bonkers every now and then on a Sunday or something like that, or just when the weather permits, this would be the one that you'd come out with. This wouldn't be a daily bike for me. As much as I love it, as much as I've been picking up the riding position and everything about it, I still think the Scrambler takes it. Which I know is mental, and probably a lot of you are going to be like, oh, you're such a Ducati fanboy. And I am a Ducati fanboy. And Triumph have grown on me over the years. I never really used to be a Triumph guy, but they have, every time I take one out, I just fall in love with them more. I think also, the other big thing is you've already heard how many changes I'd need to make to this bike to make it something I'd be really happy with. The Sport Pro, the Tribute Pro, the way they come just looks phenomenal. You really don't need to change anything on it. The rear end is tidy, the wheel huggers, the way the front end looks, the indicators are tidy, they're small LEDs, the cluster up front's great, the controls are snazzy, it's got the bar end mirrors, it has a mean exhaust that comes along, goes 2-to-1-to-2 exhaust on the side here. It's got big chunky foot pegs so you can sort of ride around and have more fun if you wanted to take it off-road. Not that you're really going to take a bike like that off-road, but stuff like this, for example, you can have a lot of fun in this kind of terrain around me now on a bike like that. So honestly, long-winded answer again, but a bike has never taken that top spot from me. It's always going to be the 1100. Some very quick maths, and that works out to be 621 miles, give or take a few. Yeah, 2 days, 621 miles, 300 miles a day. I could probably do that on this. I was even thinking of actually popping down to Exeter to see a friend of mine, and that's a good 100 plus miles. This bike, what I've come to realise over the last 2 weeks is I've done some riding in town slow manoeuvres, and it's on those slow manoeuvres when of course the front stays heavy that I start to get the pain in the wrist. Even though I'm bent over, even though I've got the elbows tucked in, I start to feel a bit of pain in the wrist. When I'm on the motorway, when I'm on a road, of course the front gets lighter, so you're not putting as much weight through it all. And also, of course, you've got the wind buffeting against you, and that kind of pushes you back as well. So you are fighting it, but when you're moving fast, this bike becomes better, easier to ride, more enjoyable to ride, easier to ride on the wrists, all of that stuff, more comfortable on the wrists. Of course, I've only done 77 miles per hour on this. Speed limit plus 10%. The one that would really stand out to me is the final edition. You know, it's the end of an era. I still don't understand why they're getting rid of the Thruxton, but to have the final edition, I think would be to say this is the last hurrah of, you know, the last version of this bike that has ever been produced. Something special about the Chrome, again, anything limited edition. It turned so many heads. I took the Chrome R90 out, turned so many heads. Even when people like to go and get a bike customised or a tank resprayed or done, they'll very rarely, from what I've seen, go for all Chrome. I'd probably have to go for the Chrome Edition or the final edition. I don't think I'd want to go for the gold line. It looks too similar to everything else. It's just, unless you go up close and can see the pinstripe on it. Right, forgive me, I don't know these off the top of my head, so I've got a little list in front of me. Apparently this bike puts out 103 brake horsepower at 7,500 RPM. Max torque is 112 Newton meters at 4,250 RPM. It's a heavy bike, but yes, it feels like it has plenty of power. I haven't at any point wished, I wish I had some more in the tank, or the cogs would go a bit further. It's been great. Motorway, A-road, whatever I'm doing, it's been more than comfortable. I've been more than happy to pull away from the idiot who's trying to run me over. Plenty of power, 1200cc, 103 brake. You're fine, you're comfortable. You're not going to need more than that. So I've taken out a fair few. Bonneville T120, I don't know, it just didn't really do much for me. The bobber, I think the reason I love the bobber so much, it's a shame they're single-seater because I love having Julie on the back and being my pillion. But for the bobber, I think that one of the reasons I love it so much is because you're so low to the ground. You're so low to the ground. Literally, when I was on the Thruxton here and I was next to Ray, I was perched on the bike. So I just quickly jump on it again. We were at a petrol station. I was perched on the bike like this. He was next to me on his bobber, and I was looking down like that. It was just, they're just so low. And even though this bike is more powerful, is faster, is, you know, just probably the better machine, dare I say it, because he was on the bobber and it's so low, and I've experienced this myself, you feel like you're going faster because you're so low to the ground. It literally is there. And again, it's just you. There's no one behind you, there's no seat behind you, you're just floating. I love the bobber. Josh's Street Scrambler 900, he's done a superb job with that. He's customised the hell out of it, and it's just made it such a sexy bike. I liked the Street Scrambler, but it needs a 6th gear. So that rules that one out, because I just found whenever I was doing long distance riding, I was like, I need to go and have a cog. Great around the twisties and stuff, have a lot of fun, sounds beautiful. But this or the bobber, I think would be appropriate. I've taken out the chrome bobber as well, and I absolutely fell in love with it. I'm struggling here. I don't know, because they're both single-seaters. I generally can't answer the question. Sorry, guys. I generally can't answer that. Flip a coin, and whatever one I get, I'll take. They're that similar to me. Right, outfit check time. I'm going to keep on doing these. It's going to become a regular thing. Pando tabby boots. Pando Robbie. I think they're the Robbie Arm 01 jeans. But this is new. This is the Ride & Sons Arrow wax jacket in black. I think it also comes in brown, but this is it in black. Feels great. It has survived the storms I've been riding through over the last couple of days. Really nice length, really good fit to it, warm. I am wearing my Kais heated gilet underneath as well. But honestly, this is a really nice piece of kit, and I am now working with XL Moto, which is where this is from. So part of XL Moto, they have a brand called Ride & Sons. Do go and check them out. Really nice, affordable items of clothing. And this is, I think, CEAA. Came with back protector, elbows, shoulders, full protected piece of kit. I believe it has a removable layer as well, just in case you get too toasty. But I'm enjoying wearing it, and it goes well with the outfit. Yeah, so thank you so much for coming to watch and listen to the Q&A, my thoughts on the stunning Thruxton RS Chrome Edition. As I say, at this moment in time, I've had the bike for just over 2 weeks. It was meant to go back at the 2-week mark, but I begged. I begged Triumph to please let me have it for another week. But honestly, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it's giving you a better insight into things. Please do let me know what you would think. If you've got one of these bikes or you happen to ride any other bikes I've mentioned, please in the comments below give me your opinion, where you think this bike stacks up against the others, which one you would prefer, mods you would make, all that kind of stuff. I love to hear what you guys are up to. Yeah, until next time, thank you so much. I've been Connor, the British Motorbiker. See you around.